All right, get ready, because today we are diving deep into some solo leveling fan theories.
Oh, yeah.
Some really wild ones.
Love it.
We're taking a look at a podcast called Solo Leveling, Fan Theories and Future Battles. And these fans did not hold back.
No, they did not.
They came up with some really, really interesting stuff about the system and the monarchs and even Jin-Woo himself.
It's really interesting to see these fan theories because it's not just like a recap of the plot.
Right.
It really makes you look at the story in a different way and think about it and really think about the connections and the things you might have missed.
Absolutely. So let's start with the system.
Okay.
It gives Jin-Woo his powers.
Yeah.
Obviously makes him level up.
Right?
But what if there's more to it than that?
Yeah.
What if it's actually a tool
Mm.
that the rulers are using
Uh-huh.
to find a champion to fight the monarchs?
That's a theory that really makes you think.
Right.
Like the way that the system guides Jin-Woo, the challenges it puts in front of him, the rewards. It's almost like he's being pushed down a certain path.
It really makes you wonder, is the system actually helping humanity?
Right.
Or is it using Jin-Woo
Totally.
for its own purposes?
Yeah, is it a puppet master?
Totally. Like, is he a puppet
Yeah.
dancing to the tune of the rulers? And if it is,
Right.
does his power come at a price?
It makes you think about all those battles that he wins.
Uh-huh.
Are those victories really his? Or is the system orchestrating them?
Yeah, it makes it feel less straightforward
It does.
when you think about it that way.
Yeah,
Like he's not really in control.
exactly. And then it brings up this moral question.
Right.
Are his actions really heroic
Yeah.
if he is being guided by this unseen force?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, so we have got this whole puppet master situation
Yeah.
with the system. But what about the monarchs? We always think of them as the bad guys.
Right, the villains of the story.
Right. But what if there's more to it?
Yeah.
What if they're not just evil? The podcast we're looking at suggests that maybe they're refugees
Interesting.
from a dying world
Okay.
who are just desperate to find a new home.
That is an interesting take because then it makes you look at their actions, even the really bad ones, a little differently.
Yeah.
You know, if they're just trying to survive,
Right.
it really adds another layer to their motivations.
So they're not power hungry. They're desperate.
Potentially.
Yeah.
It makes me wonder why Earth.
Yeah, why Earth?
What makes it so special to them?
Well, one theory is that Earth might have something that they need,
Okay.
like a resource to rebuild their world.
Interesting.
But then that leads to this other idea,
Okay.
that maybe the rulers and the monarchs used to be allies.
Whoa, allies.
Yeah.
So how did they go from allies to fighting over Earth?
That is the question, isn't it?
It is.
Imagine these two huge forces working together. Maybe they were sharing resources or knowledge.
Right.
What could have happened
Yeah.
that could break up that alliance?
Mm-mm.
Right, and cause this conflict that we see in solo leveling.
Exactly. And that makes you wonder, was this conflict always going to happen?
Yeah.
Or could there be a way for them to come together again?
Right, like could Jin-Woo somehow broker peace
Yeah.
between these ancient powers?
That's a really interesting idea.
So we've got the system, maybe pulling the strings. The monarchs, maybe not so straightforward.
You're right.
And then we have Jin-Woo.
Yeah, the man himself.
This guy goes from the weakest hunter to basically a god.
Totally.
But what if that's just the start?
Yeah.
What if that's just the beginning?
That's where it gets really cool.
Right.
Think about how he got his powers. You know, that double dungeon,
Oh, yeah.
terrifying experience.
Uh-huh.
What if that woke up something inside of him? Something connected to his past.
Right.
Maybe to the system.
Okay.
Maybe even to the Shadow Army.
Are we saying his destiny was decided before he was even born?
Well, that's a theory that has been floating around for a while. And it makes sense. You know, he doesn't just get stronger.
Yeah.
It's like he unlocks this power that he always had inside of him.
So it's not just about becoming strong.
Right.
It's about fulfilling a destiny.
Exactly.
And that makes you think,
Yeah.
what is his true potential?
Right.
And does he even know
Yeah.
about all this stuff going on around them?
Does he know what his powers really are?
Right. And before we move on, I have to ask,
Yeah.
what about his family?
Mm-hmm.
They're definitely a huge motivator for him.
Absolutely.
But could they be more than just people he needs to protect?
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Right.
There's a theory that his family might be the key
Okay.
to lasting peace.
Interesting.
That his love for them,
Right.
his need to keep them safe,
Uh-huh.
could be what brings everything together.
Wow.
And it could be even bigger than just defeating the monarchs.
So it's not just about him being strong.
Right.
It's about this deeper connection
Yeah.
between his family and his powers and how this conflict ends.
Exactly. And it makes you think, could they be the missing piece
All right.
of the puzzle?
Okay, so much to think about.
So much.
We've got the system, maybe with its own plans.
Yeah.
The monarchs not being just simple bad guys.
Right. More complicated than that.
And then Jin-Woo with his hidden potential.
Uh-huh.
But we haven't talked about the gates yet.
Oh, the gates. Yeah.
These mysterious portals that connect our world to all these dangerous dimensions.
Right.
Where did they come from? Why
Yeah.
were they here?
That's one of the biggest mysteries.
Totally.
And it's something these fans really try to understand.
Okay.
Remember how we talked about the rulers and monarchs maybe being allies?
Uh-huh.
Well, some fans think that the gates were actually created as a way for the two worlds to connect.
So instead of being these scary things,
Yeah.
they were meant to bring everyone together.
Right, like bridges.
That's a huge change.
It is.
So what could have gone wrong?
Right.
What could have turned these peaceful bridges into these dangerous gateways?
Yeah, like what event or what series of events?
I am thinking some kind of disaster.
Yeah.
Maybe a fight over resources
Yeah.
or a betrayal. Something that just wrecked that alliance.
Yeah, and turn those portals into something dangerous
Right.
and unpredictable.
So it's like the gates themselves are not evil.
Right.
They're just reflecting this broken relationship
Exactly.
between the rulers and the monarchs.
Yeah.
It's like a physical reminder of what went wrong
Right.
and how dangerous it is.
It makes you wonder if fixing that relationship,
Right.
bringing balance back between the rulers and the monarchs,
Yeah.
could be the way to close the gates for good.
So it's not just about defeating the monarchs.
Right.
It's about fixing what's broken,
Yeah.
finding a way to mend things.
Exactly.
That's a lot of responsibility,
It is.
even for someone like Jin-Woo.
Even for him.
And that brings us back to Jin-Woo's destiny.
Yeah.
Is he just meant to be a warrior,
Right.
a monarch slayer? Or is there more to it?
Right.
Is his journey about healing the wounds of the past?
It's a really interesting question.
Right.
And it makes you think about everything in a new light.
It really does.
It makes you appreciate how deep this story is.
It really does. We've covered so much already.
I know.
The system's real purpose, the monarch's backstory, Jin-Woo's hidden potential, and the mystery of the gates.
It's amazing.
But there's one big question left.
Yeah.
What does the future hold for Sung Jin-Woo and the world he's fighting for?
That is the question.
And the fan theories about this
Oh, yeah.
are mind-blowing.
They are.
We're talking time travel,
Yeah.
world-altering events, and Jin-Woo maybe even becoming something more than human.
It's exciting.
So tell me, what are some of the craziest predictions about the final battle and what happens after?
Well, let's start with this one theory that's really popular.
Okay.
It says the final battle is not just about beating the monarchs. It's about closing the gates permanently.
Like closing the gates forever.
Yeah.
That would change everything.
Imagine a world with no more monsters, no more outbreaks.
Wow.
Humanity could finally relax and rebuild.
That's a powerful image.
It is.
But how could they close the gates?
Right.
They seem so important to this world.
They do, and that's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
Some fans think the key is time travel.
Whoa.
Yeah, they think the final battle might involve changing past events.
Okay.
Maybe even stopping the gates from ever opening.
Time travel, that's serious stuff.
Yeah, it is.
But wouldn't messing with time have huge consequences?
Absolutely.
Could Jin-Woo even survive changing the timeline?
That's been a huge debate.
Really?
Some fans say changing the past would create a paradox
Okay.
and maybe erase Jin-Woo.
Wow.
But others say his connection to the system and the Shadow Army might protect him.
So he could change time and be okay?
Maybe.
So we've got time travel paradoxes and a hero who might be both the problem and the solution.
It's pretty wild.
It is. But let's get back to Jin-Woo's personal journey.
Okay.
With all this talk of destiny and saving the world, it's easy to forget he's just a guy
Right.
who started out as an ordinary person
Exactly.
facing extraordinary things.
Nick, what makes him so relatable?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He's not invincible.
No.
He makes mistakes.
Uh-huh.
He's flawed.
He's human.
Right. And those imperfections
Yeah.
make his victories even better.
Totally.
Because he's not just fighting these outside threats.
Right.
He's fighting his own inner demons too.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about solo leveling.
Me too.
It's not just about the fights of the powers.
Yeah. Huh.
It's about the human story at the center of it all.
It's about the heart.
Right. And that brings us back to the idea
Yeah.
that Jin-Woo's family is crucial.
To the outcome.
Right. It's not just that they're his motivation.
Uh-huh.
It's that they might hold the key to
Yeah.
peace.
Like, and their love could be the answer.
Right.
It's a really beautiful idea.
It is. It says even in a world with monsters and magic,
Yeah.
it's human connection
Uh-huh.
that saves us.
The things that make us vulnerable are what make us strong.
Okay, we've given our listeners a lot to think about.
A lot.
Time travel, world-ending choices.
Yeah.
But I think it's time for a break.
I agree.
Let everyone process everything we've talked about.
Definitely. Let's give everyone a minute to absorb all that.
Yeah, there's so many possibilities.
I know.
My mind is racing. Okay,
Hmm.
where were we? All right, time travel.
Yeah.
We were talking about how some fans think manipulating time could be how they close the gates for good.
Right. And it kind of goes with this idea we see in the story
Hmm.
about power going in circles.
Oh,
Remember the rulers and the monarchs? They might have been friends once.
right.
Some fans think Jin-Woo might go back in time to stop them from becoming enemies.
Wow.
Like heal that rift before it even starts.
Before the gates ever open?
Exactly.
But wouldn't that be super dangerous?
Oh, for sure. Messing with time could have some crazy results.
Right.
That's what makes it so exciting.
Yeah.
The stakes are so high, we're not just talking about saving the world anymore. We're talking about reality itself.
Can you imagine the pressure on Jin-Woo?
Oh my gosh.
Not only does he have to fight these super powerful beings,
Yeah,
but he also has to deal with time travel
right.
and maybe rewrite history.
Without breaking everything.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It is. But it shows how much faith fans have in Jin-Woo.
Okay.
They think he can make those hard choices
Right.
and deal with those consequences.
It would be kind of cool if the answer to all of this was in the past.
Yeah.
Like it's been there all along,
Yeah.
just hidden in some event or decision that could have been different.
It adds this element of tragedy, the
Yeah.
idea that the gate, the monsters, all the death,
Uh-huh.
it could have all been avoided
Wow.
if things had just gone a little bit differently.
Do you think Jin-Woo, with his powers and knowing what happens in the future,
Yeah.
could actually fix that mistake?
It's an interesting thought.
It is.
And it comes back to this idea that Jin-Woo's journey isn't just about getting stronger. It's about understanding the impact of his choices.
Yeah.
The impact he has on the world.
So he's not just a fighter.
Right.
He's like a protector,
Yeah.
a guardian of the timeline.
A shepherd of destiny.
This is getting really deep.
I know, right? But that's what's so great about solo leveling.
Right.
It makes us think about these huge ideas, these
Yeah.
big questions about fate and choice and what reality even is.
And all this in a story about a guy who punches monsters.
I know, it's amazing.
Okay, let's talk about Jin-Woo's relationships.
Okay.
We've talked about his family and how they give him strength.
Right.
But what about his friends?
Yeah.
How do they fit into all these theories about the future?
Well, there's this one theory about his best friend,
Okay.
Yu Jin-ho, the guy who's going to inherit the Beiko Guild.
Uh-huh.
It says Jin-ho's role might be more important than we think.
Okay.
Remember how he's always there for Jin-Woo,
Yeah.
supporting him, pushing him to be better?
Mm-hmm.
What if that support becomes super important in the final battle?
Like maybe Jin-ho is more than just a friend.
Right.
Maybe he actually helps Jin-Woo win.
Some fans think Jin-ho's knowledge of the hunter world and his connections
Right.
could be really helpful against the monarchs.
Interesting.
Imagine him getting all the hunters in the world together,
Oh, wow.
uniting them under Jin-Woo to fight the monarchs.
That would be epic.
I know, right?
Jin-Woo leading the charge with Jin-ho at his side,
Yeah.
planning the attacks, coordinating everyone.
It'd be like a global superhero team.
Totally. And you know what else?
Right.
Some fans see Jin-ho's journey as similar to Jin-Woo's. Remember how Jin-Woo started weak and no one thought much of him?
Yeah, and then he became the strongest hunter.
Right.
A total underdog story.
Exactly.
Some fans think Jin-ho could have a similar path.
Mm.
He might not have the same powers,
Sure.
but he's ambitious and smart and incredibly loyal.
Yeah.
Maybe he'll have his own transformation.
Okay.
Become a leader himself, a master strategist who helps win the war alongside Jin-Woo.
So they both have their own destinies to fulfill.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It is, and it adds another layer to their friendship.
Right.
It's not about a hero and a sidekick.
Uh-huh.
It's about two people with their own strengths and weaknesses,
Right.
helping each other and growing together.
I love that. Okay, Jin-ho for the win.
Yeah.
But what about the other characters?
Yeah.
Like Cha-hai and the S-rank hunter who gets close to Jin-Woo.
Right.
Do the fan theories talk about her?
Oh yeah, there's a lot of speculation about her role in the final battle,
Okay.
and it mostly focuses on her powers.
Right.
Remember her incredible sense of smell?
Oh, yeah.
She can track enemies with it and even predict their moves.
It's like a superpower.
Totally, like a built-in danger radar.
Exactly.
Some fans think this will be super important against the Monarchs.
How so?
Imagine her tracking their every move,
Uh-huh.
giving Jin-Woo intel on their strengths and weaknesses,
Right.
and their battle plans.
It's like having a secret weapon.
Yeah, a tactical advantage. But it's also symbolic, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Her being there with Jin-Woo,
Yeah.
it shows the power of human connection.
Okay.
That even when facing incredible power,
Uh-huh.
love and loyalty can give you strength.
Like she's a symbol of hope. A
Exactly.
reminder that even in the darkest times,
Yeah.
there's still beauty and love.
And that's a theme we see throughout Solo Leveling.
Right.
It's not just about power and destruction.
Uh-huh.
It's about how strong the human spirit can be,
Right.
our capacity for love, compassion, sacrifice.
You know, we've talked a lot about the big fights and the fate of the world,
Yeah.
but I think it's important to remember
What's that?
that Solo Leveling is really a story about human connection,
Totally.
about the things that bring us together and make life meaningful.
And those connections are what make the story so powerful.
Absolutely.
So relatable. You see it in Jinwoo's relationships with everyone.
Right?
His family, his friends, even his enemies.
Yeah.
There's this sense of humanity, this understanding that even in a world of monsters and magic,
Right.
it's our relationships that really matter.
Okay, before we wrap up part 2,
Yeah.
I want to talk about one more fan theory that just blew me away.
Okay.
We've talked about time travel
Right.
and the other characters, but what about Jin-Woo's final fate?
What happens to him after the last battle?
Right.
One theory is that he might not just defeat the monarchs.
Yeah.
He might become something more than human.
Whoa, hold on. What does that even mean?
It's wild, right?
Like, does he become a god or something?
Some fans think his connection to the Shadow Monarch
Uh-huh.
and his power over death and resurrection
Okay.
might take him to a level we can't even understand.
So he becomes like this higher being.
It's hard to say for sure,
Right.
but that's the general idea. Like,
Yeah.
his journey isn't just about saving the world.
Yeah.
It's about moving beyond his human limits
Right.
and reaching a power that's almost godlike.
That's a pretty crazy thought.
Yeah.
But does he lose his humanity completely?
That's a good question.
Like, does he become disconnected from the people he loves and the world he fought for?
That's where it gets interesting, that some fans think that even if he transcends his humanity,
Uh-huh.
he doesn't lose his connection to those he cares about.
So it's not like he just forgets everyone
Right.
and becomes this unfeeling god.
Exactly. It's more like he evolves to a higher state of being
Hmm.
where he can protect and guide humanity
Okay.
from a more cosmic perspective.
So like a guardian angel.
It's a beautiful idea.
It is.
And it speaks to what solo leveling is really about.
Yeah.
The idea that even with immense power, even as we change and grow,
Right.
it's the bonds we make and the love we share that truly define us.
Wow. Okay, we've thrown a lot at our listeners today.
We have.
From time travel to cosmic evolution.
It's a lot to take in.
It is. Are you ready to wrap things up? Or are there any more mind-blowing theories we need to cover? I think we have time for one more crazy fan theory before we call it a day.
Okay, shoot.
We've talked about Jin-Woo and where he might end up.
Uh-huh.
But what about the world?
Oh, yeah.
What happens to Earth after the final battle is over?
That's where things get really interesting.
Yep.
One idea that I find super fascinating
Yeah.
is this idea of a merged world.
A merged world, like Earth and the Monarchs world, become one?
Exactly.
How would that even work?
Well, think about those gates,
Right.
those bridges between worlds.
Mhm.
What if instead of closing them,
Okay.
the final battle makes them collapse,
Hmm.
merging those dimensions into one reality?
Wow, that would change everything. Imagine Earth, but with stuff from the Monarchs world mixed in.
Yeah,
Would we have magic new monsters?
who knows?
It would be a whole new world, literally.
So many possibilities.
Right.
It could lead to amazing new technology, a better understanding of the universe, but also new problems and conflicts as humans try to adapt.
I can see it now, ecosystems changing, new power struggles.
Yeah,
Maybe even a new type of hunter, evolving to face these new challenges.
totally.
It'd be like a setup for a sequel.
It would. And you know what?
What?
It goes back to one of the big ideas in solo leveling,
Okay.
that change is always happening.
Uh-huh.
And even in chaos, there's a chance to grow and evolve.
It's like the story is saying that even after these huge battles,
Right.
even after the fate of worlds is decided,
Yeah,
the journey never really ends.
it doesn't.
There's always something new to explore,
Right.
a new challenge to face.
And that connects with people.
Yeah.
Because life is like that too.
It is.
We're always facing new obstacles, learning new things, and changing as people.
It's like solo leveling is a metaphor for life,
Totally.
but with awesome monsters and magic power.
Exactly. And that's why I think these fan theories are so popular.
Right.
They let us explore these big ideas, these universal themes, using a story we love.
Okay, I think it's time to wrap up our deep dive.
That's good.
We've talked about so much.
I know.
The system's true purpose, time travel, Jin-Woo's journey, and the fate of the world.
My mind is blown.
Mine too. It's been so much fun exploring these fan theories with you.
It really has.
It's amazing how passionate these fans are,
It is.
and how they use their imagination to make the story even bigger and better. What inspires me the most about these theories
What's that?
is that they're not just guesses or wishful thinking.
Right.
They show how powerful storytelling can be,
Yeah.
how a good story makes us think about the world in new ways.
And it reminds us that even when a story ends, the conversation can keep going. The characters, the themes, the world,
Yeah.
they can all live on in the minds of the readers.
Right.
And keep growing through their discussions and interpretations.
So to all the solo leveling fans out there,
Yes.
keep those theories coming.
Keep thinking, keep debating, and keep sharing your love for this amazing story.
Because the more we engage with it, the more rewarding it becomes.
And who knows?
What?
Maybe some of your theories will even inspire the creators
Yeah.
to explore new possibilities.
Okay. That's all for our deep dive into the world of solo leveling fan theories.
I hope you enjoyed it.
We hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time when we explore another corner of pop culture.
Until then, keep those imaginations running wild.
And remember, in the world of solo leveling,
Yeah.
the only limit is your imagination.